Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. And we're going to look at a couple of stock indexes and a couple of markets. I even just took the volume off because the volume has been pathetically low. And guess what? It's going to be low into the long 3-day weekend that's coming up, and it's going to be low next week as well. The volume really typically doesn't return until the week after Labor Day. I mean, the week after the full week of Labor Day, meaning we're going to have Labor Day weekend, then we're going to have that 4-day week, and then it's kind of officially back. Up until that time, I don't see really much of a change here. The only thing that I see happening would just be a simple pullback to the 8-period moving average on a daily chart. I seriously don't think we're even going to get to the 21. The other question, though, is really just got to ask, what do you do in a market this extended? Is this where you load up, kind of load the boat? And it kind of goes back here to July, and I remember this, where we had this, really solid market, and this is the point where it's really dangerous to chase, because even though this is a normal pullback, you can see, if you had options that expired in a week to 10 days, they could all just got destroyed by a normal pullback. And that's the situation we're in right now. It's just, this isn't the place to get super excited about buying calls. I'm fine with selling puts, and even on the SPX, I'm fine with selling 1 standard deviation calls with the idea that it is essentially due for a rest at this point. In terms of individual stocks, this is a pattern that I'm seeing across a lot of big names where we'll have a daily squeeze. The C wave here is above zero, but what you can see is that the B wave is crossing, okay? And when you get into this type of a situation, it becomes, so I always like to rate stuff, right? To me, a full position is 5 out of 5. And so what is 5 out of 5? I call that like a turbocharged trade. And 5 out of 5 means you start off at the daily chart, you got to squeeze, and the C and the B wave and the A wave are all comfortably above zero. Well, here you can see the C wave, it's kind of above zero, but it's got some slippage. And the B wave, of course, is crossing to the downside, and so it is there. On the weekly chart, it's still good. The most powerful ones, though, are when the daily and the weekly are fully aligned. So right now, it's just a little sloppy. And when I have a 5 out of 5, that means I'm going to load up, I'm going to buy calls, I'm going to buy out of the money calls, I'm expecting a big move. If it's sloppy, I focus more on selling puts, okay? And what we're seeing here is on Priceline, and then let's look at VIPs. This is kind of another one where now in this one we don't have a squeeze, but you can see that the waves here are all above zero. And when the waves are all above zero and there's no squeeze, then on the weekly chart you buy all pullbacks to the 8 EMA, and then on the daily chart you buy all pullbacks to the 21 EMA. Okay, sometimes those line up and sometimes those don't, but so this is an area where I'm completely fine selling puts. Is it a little sloppy? Yes. Otherwise, it would just be straight out buying calls. So here, when we came down to the 21 and the B wave was comfortably above zero, and that's the rule, the C and the B wave have to be 100% above zero, then that's where you buy calls. If they're not, I just hedge a little bit and focus more on selling puts, or doing something like a debit spread to bring in some premium. And the other one that's doing this too is CMG. So CMG, according with the waves, you can see here on the B wave and the C wave, they're awesome, and you've got this here too. So this is actually this is a really good setup. Really like the idea of selling puts here, and if we could get down to that 21 EMA, I would buy some calls. And one of my favorite weekly squeezes this year, I mean, there's been a couple of really good ones, but this one was really fantastic, and you can see BITA here trading at $40, C wave above zero, B wave above zero, A wave above zero, plenty of time to buy calls, and here it is during the signal, the stock's up over 100%, which of course is insane for the options. On this one, same thing here, it's extended, and this is the point where a lot of times people ask, is it too late to buy it? The answer is yes. The idea with this is you get the waves, you get the squeeze, you get your positions, and then you know your exits. Okay, so it's a very simple formula, and you want to be follow it not only in times of trend following, which was what that is, but also during the times of rollover periods. And also, just by popular demand, you can see that we've finally got the B wave, in addition to the new and updated A and C wave, ready to go here for a couple of platforms that didn't have it. You can see here's BITA, you've got the squeeze, C wave above 0, B wave above 0, and bam, that's good to go. For those of you that are interested in these waves, which have not been available before for TOS, they include the A, B, and C waves, and of course they're the updated versions, so as opposed to the older ones. So that's all good to go. You can, what I'm going to do is, a lot of people that look at the waves, they don't really understand all the nuances. They're awesome for trend following, but the best thing with them is they're great for position sizing. So what I mean by that is with the waves, you can rate trades on a scale of 1 to 5. If it's a 5, I go full size. If it's a 4, I go 3/4. And then if it's a half size, or a 3, I'll do half size and just sell premium. And then of course a 2 I don't even bother with. But what's nice about this is that the higher the scale, the bigger the potential trade, and the more likely that you're going to make money by buying options as opposed to selling them. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff that I'll talk about. So what I'm going to do is, if you like the indicators, we're also going to do included with the indicators will be a class. This is going to be on Thursday from 1 to 3 East Coast time, which is 12 to 2 Central. This is Thursday, the 28th. And we're going to do this during the live market hours, and I will just go through all this stuff, a lot of it mostly in TOS, show you how I set it up, and I've also actually even put together a couple of scanning tools that I think you guys will really, really like. All right, so the link for that again, simpleroptions.com/ABC. You get the indicators, and by the way, the indicators are also available for TradeStation, NinjaTrader, Multicharts, eSignal, Infinity, and Trade Navigator. And again, all that $497 for the indicator plus the class, which is going to be where we're going to learn a bunch of cool stuff, not only on trade management, but the current markets and what to expect after Labor Day. Okay? You guys have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you at the next update.